Hi Gemini, how are we today? I'm just doing our weekly readings. This week we are going to be looking at career and finances for the next 3 months. Okay, so we'll have a look and see what's coming out for everybody. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate your support. This week we are going to be using the Soul's Journey lesson cards, get a bit of an overview of the main sort of themes for the next 3 months. And then I've got two Lenormand decks here. So we're going to be using the Magpies Lenormand in regard to career, and then the Dreaming Lenormand in regard to finances. So what I'm going to be doing is, 3 rows, so 3 months, 3 rows of each of those cards. Okay, so we'll sort of work it out as we go. All right, but I'm going to start off with those Soul's Journey lesson cards. Okay, what does Gemini need to know in regard to career and finance for the next 3 months? Theme of January for Gemini, career and finances. And February, career and finances for Gemini, sorry. And March for Gemini, career and finances, please. Okay, so we've got our overviews. I will start off with January and we'll go month by month, as I sort of said. Okay, so January, career and finances for Gemini. Well, we're looking with career with this deck. So what's going on for Gemini with their career during January, please? Being the first sign of the month, you guys always get my sort of trial run. So, I do sort of finesse how I'm doing the readings, the layouts when I am doing yours, Gemini. So sorry about that, but it usually works out pretty well. We sort of go with the flow and see what comes out. Finances for Gemini, January 2024. And I'll clarify as we need. So to start off here, we've got humor for January that does say, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So career and finances for January, just taking it easy, just accepting those blessings when they come, finding the humorous side of things for yourself here. So it's kind of like that. I do get a lot of that time with this card, that sarcastic kind of vibe of like, oh, that cost me so much money. Typical, that kind of sarcastic sort of humor when it comes to spending money and your career. And that was, inevitable that would happen. Of course, that's going to happen. That kind of sarcastic humor comes through quite heavy with this card. But really choosing to see the lighter side of things and take things, lightly, not taking things so heavy when it comes to January here, Gemini, within your career and your finances. I am seeing, the career side of things. We do have the tree. So we do have a lot of growth coming through when it comes to career. We do have the heart as well as the birds. Okay, so straight away, for some of you, there's maybe one or two of you where this is actually talking about somebody having a conversation with you about, wanting to develop a work relationship into something more. So that's just maybe one or two of you, but I can kind of get that straight away, that with that heart there, a lot of the time that really does talk about, the way that you get along with people in the workplace, that kind of thing. But you yourself, you're going through a lot of sort of growth, taking care of yourself, taking care of the way that you are doing things in the workplace and just focusing on, doing the job and doing it well, that kind of energy with that tree. It does talk about, wisdom, self-growth, all that sort of stuff. So for some of you, there may be, some sort of further education you are involving yourself with when it comes to your career. Definitely maybe, learning a little bit more about how to do the job well, but really using your own wisdom, I feel, and just sort of, it's kind of that knuckling down, getting into it kind of energy, just, making sure that you're doing your job and you're doing it well. So, but definitely some of you may be experiencing some sort of growth. We may all be also be seeing with that heart there, we may be sort of seeing something within your career growing and evolving a little bit to be something that is more in line with what you're truly passionate about. So you might actually be developing a little bit more passion, a little bit more heart for the job, for what you're doing. You may be sort of delving into this a little bit more and realizing, you know what, I really enjoy this side of the work, and focusing on that and growing that side of the job, the work, a little bit there, focusing on the things that you love about this career. Okay. We do also see the birds coming through there. So, it definitely could be, like I said, some workplace romance kind of stuff. But I do feel pretty strongly here with the birds coming through that this is a bit of a warning, because we do see that humor energy for January. And this bird's energy can quite a lot of the time talk about, gossip and chatter going on around you. So I really do feel that with that heart, it's kind of, take it lightheartedly. If there is some sort of gossip or chatter going on in the workplace, really try to take it lightheartedly. Don't take it too hard, so to speak. And just let it sort of fly off your back a little bit there. There's nothing sort of negative as such coming through, but there just is this just this vibe that there may be a little bit of gossip around you about something in the workplace, but you're gold. You've got your tree and your heart energy there, so it's kind of like there's no foundation to the gossip, so there's nothing for you to worry about that kind of energy. For some of you may actually be enjoying that gossip with that heart there as well, but just be very careful of that. I do find sometimes that's a bit of a warning that, there may be a little bit of gossip sort of energy going on around you with the workplace, but, you focusing on your heart space there. So not allowing it to sort of get too deep into you there, and not taking it on board too much, just approaching it with that, that sense of humor, and letting it sort of fly off the back of you there. Now, when it comes to finances, we do see we're starting off with the child energy, which is you sort of being very sort of free spirited. I kind of feel like this is, you may be sort of splashing the cash a little bit, and just sort of, childlike abandon, not really paying that much attention to, whether you are doing well or not with finances there. Just that kind of, oh, I want it, so I'm going to get it. That very childlike way of looking at money, like, oh, I want everything, so I'm just going to buy everything, that kind of energy. It comes through as sort of having a lot of innocence that I don't have to worry about money. I don't need to worry about it, even if you do. But we do see a change coming through. I feel like this is toward the end of January for a lot of you there. We do have the scythe energy coming through with the fish, which is the financial card. So when we're talking about finances and we're seeing the financial card, especially with that scythe, there is some sort of big unexpected change. So I am just going to get a card to clarify this, because for some of you this actually may be like a bit of a windfall, but for others of you it may be something sort of reining you in when it comes to your spending here, because we do see you starting off with that childlike energy. But clarify that scythe and fish energy for January finances for our Gemini, please. Oh, okay. So we do see the garden coming through there. So, with the garden, that does talk about, meetings and somewhere restful, positive. So I feel like for a lot of you, that sudden change is just having a break, having a rest with your finances. And, it definitely also, it's kind of coming through two different ways here. Some of you, it's kind of taking a bit of a rest and focusing on only spending your money on what you truly want to spend it on. Whereas others of you, this is you, once again, seeing a little bit of that childish abandon still coming through but rather than just spending it willy-nilly, we're kind of focusing on spending it on our social life. This definitely, I'm even though it's not a travel card as such, it does talk about more those public spaces, spending time with friends, meeting up with people, meeting people halfway. So you definitely may be having some sort of sudden unexpected change where you are having to meet somebody halfway financially. But I am sort of intuitively feeling that for a lot of you, this is more along the lines of, traveling with somebody and having to save up for something in specific here that has got to do with some sort of social gathering, some sort of event that you're saving for in specific here. So I do feel as though that's what that sudden change coming through for you is, Gemini, that there is a specific sort of event or social thing that you're wanting to make sure you can meet that financially. So you sort of reining it in a little bit and having this sudden unexpected change of maybe needing to save money for travel. I am getting for some of you that's actually linked up with travel. So you may be actually having to travel to an event, or you're traveling away with friends and all those sorts of things. So it's kind of like just taking a bit of a rest. So that's what that sudden unexpected change is. It's a sudden unexpected financial thing that you're needing to meet when it comes to this. You are going to be needing to meet this financially. So all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, I need to stop and save money for that specific thing. Okay, so it does feel like it's going to come through quite unexpectedly. So I dare say it's not something you are aware of as of yet. It may not be something you've even sort of got in the back of your mind as of yet, but it will come through sort of quite sudden and unexpectedly. Toward the end more so of January, I feel there will be a specific thing that you are realizing, oh, I need to start saving for that now so that I can sort of meet that financial goal, meet my friends financially halfway, so that we can all pay for this thing or whatever it is for you particularly. I do feel like for a lot of you it's going to be travel, and for some of you it's a specific event that you're traveling to. It may not be huge travel, but it does just feel like there's a bit of travel involved for quite a lot of you there. All right, so February, moving over into February, we do see the imagination card coming through. That does say, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Okay, so I'm feeling straight away that that's got to do with your career, Gemini, needing to use your imagination, something coming through with your career in February, where you really are needing to be a little bit more creative with the way you're approaching your job, your work, the things that you do for your work, needing to use your imagination a little bit here. Career for Gemini in February, please. Yeah, so it's coming through pretty specific here. We do have the clouds coming through once again. So that's reinforcing that imagination message there, that you are going to need to really think this through and think it through very cleverly. Be careful not to lend yourself into overthinking whatever this thing is. Using those thoughts to really, really spread your imagination rather than get yourself trapped in thought. Using those thoughts to drive you and inspire you here. I do feel the creativity coming through. We do have the fish coming through here as well, Gemini, as well as the caterpillar. So I do feel that for a lot of you, this is coming through as needing to use your imagination with how to, expand or consume the financial side of the business. It's got something to do with, with that that fish energy there. That's abundance and wealth and finances. So I feel like though with your career, rather than you personally. So it kind of is that I'm getting that, getting this kind of vibe of like somebody coming to you, Gemini, and asking you, how can we expand and create more abundance within this career? How can we get known to more clients? How can we, and someone sort of asking you to brainstorm ideas on behalf of the business, on behalf of whatever your career is. For those of you where you are self-employed, it really does feel like that sort of branching out, trying to, really increase the abundance that the business is gaining. It's also, I'm also getting that kind of like, for some of you, it's kind of like, we need to check where exactly is the money being spent. What are we consuming too much of within the workplace that we can cut back a little bit in order to save money here, save money there? So it's all those sorts of things. But I feel like this is you sort of taking control of this sort of thing, and you're sort of maybe running some sort of an audit on the business when it comes to the financial side of, where is all the money being spent? Because that caterpillar is all about consume energy. We do see the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the moth in this deck. And the caterpillar is that stage where we're eating everything in sight to grow ourselves bigger, and that's kind of what's going on here. It's kind of like, for some of you, this is an issue of the money is just being eaten away. We haven't got enough money to pay for all the wages. What's going on? And then for others of you, this is like, how can our business consume a larger portion of the marketplace, that kind of thing there. But I do feel as though this is coming through as heavily partly like heavily going to be under your responsibility to really brainstorm what's going on here, or audit. You may be the one auditing or brainstorming this particular thing for the business here. So it's either about where is the money going, or how can we make more money? That kind of energy within your career here. All right, so that's what the focus of February is coming through for you here, Gemini. But we'll have a look at your personal finances. Gemini, personal finances for February. We do have the Tower, followed by the Ship, and the Whip energy. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, we are seeing some potential issues in February for you financially. We do see something. I'm feeling for a lot of you, this Tower energy is talking about something from your past, sort of coming back in. Creating drama for you, creating some sort of a challenge, some sort of a conflict. You may be having some sort of argument with somebody over money, over, where has all the money gone, that kind of thing. But I'm feeling for a lot of you, this is something from, a past financial commitment that, you may have signed on for that years and years ago, and all of a sudden here it comes. That ship is landing back on your shore now, and it's been sailing around the world. It hasn't been bothering you for a while, but here it is sort of landing for you in February, creating some sort of conflict for you when it comes to your financials. Okay, so be aware of that. For some of you, you are going to know about what this is. It can have something to do with government related issues here, landing at your doorstep, overseas issues. So if you do have overseas investments, those sorts of things, if you do have foundational or government type things that you've put off for a long time, come February, they may be causing you a bit of trouble here. I'm not feeling that this is anything, hugely dramatic. It's just sort of, that's what's wanting to come through as your main theme for February. I will just get one more to clarify that one as well. Advice for Gemini financially for February, please. Yeah, your advice is the Bear energy. So just, stand strong and powerful in your own sense of security here, and have clear boundaries, because for some of you, this definitely could be somebody from your past sort of showing up, trying to, get get some sort of help financially from you. So it definitely could be related to a person here, especially when we do see that whip energy. A lot of the time that does talk about actual arguments. So there may be somebody sort of coming to you and saying, you owe me money from, 5 years ago, and you just need to stand very firm in your boundaries and protect yourself. Okay, so that's your advice in regard to that situation. Protect yourself, protect your finances, and that should all be pretty fine. When that bear energy comes out, it really is, a little bit of a, eases your mind a little bit to know that, you will be strong and powerful enough to deal with this. It's not going to be a huge thing that's going to affect you hugely. Just be a little bit maybe on the defense, a little bit against people coming through and demanding. I'm just getting that vibe that there may be some sort of demand involved with this. So, and it's something I am strongly getting that it's something from your past. So I'm getting that for some of you too. This is somehow related to an overseas issue or a government type issue. So, it definitely could be that, for some of you, I'm getting that it could be like fighting for like alimony type thing, a past that it's sort of finally coming back around and they're saying, oh, you owe us this or something like that, that I'm just getting it's like a debt that hasn't been paid off or, a long time ago. Coming back through, kind of landing at your shores in February, kind of going, you owe us this money. And I feel like for a lot of you, you don't even. And that's why we're seeing that as a conflict, because you're sort of fighting against that. You're standing strong, stand strong in your boundaries. And if you know you don't owe that money, pardon me, Gemini, stand strong and firm in your boundaries with this. Protect yourself with this, okay? For some of you, I feel like that's why we're seeing a conflict, because you are feeling like this isn't right, and something's showing up going, you owe us this money, and you're kind of going, but I paid that. Like, so stand strong and protect yourself here, okay? Because definitely could just create some arguments, some conflicts going on there, but that definitely could also be you fighting against that. 1 second. Sorry about the weird pause, Gemini. New Year's still catching up on me. Not gonna lie, I had a pretty big one, and I lost my voice and everything, so I'm still sort of catching up vocally. So sorry about that. Just had to pause so I didn't die. Okay, but then going forward into March, we do see the trust energy coming through here. So trusting that everything's going to work out in your favor here. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So I do feel as though that's sort of flow on energy from this bear energy, that you kind of know, I'm going to trust that this is going to work out for me because I know that I'm in the right here. That kind of energy. But we'll have a look at the career side of things. Gemini, career for Gemini during March, please. Okay. Very interesting energy here, Gemini. Once again, sorry for all the coughing. I'm like, we have the snake coming through with the mice energy. So straight away, that this lets us know that this is the mice energy is about a past loss, something that's been sort of eating away at you a little bit. And it's very interesting because I'm getting two different messages with this snake energy. So for some of you, that this has got to do with some sort of deception, some deceptive energy. But I'm feeling like it's more along the lines of something that you've been deceiving yourself about. It's been eating away at you because you know that you're like, I'm just getting this energy of like you're kind of like going, everything's fine, but you know deep down that you're not 100% fine with something within your career here. I feel like for a lot of you, it's got to do with your desire or your passion, your ambition. And so it's kind of like you're trying to deceive yourself into thinking that I don't desire that. I don't, my ambition, I don't have all this ambition, but you do, and it's sort of eating away at you a little bit, that you want more. Okay, you're wanting a bit more than what you are telling yourself, that you're like, I'm fine, everything's fine how it is. But there is this sort of underlying passion and desire, this ambition of something that is sort of eating away at your energy a little bit there. We do see the moon coming through with that as well. So, there is this emotional component coming through with your career in March, where you are sort of, getting a little bit emotional about, this hidden desire, this hidden ambition that you've got when it comes to your career. But the interesting thing is the moon really does also talk about following your intuition and listening to your inner voice, which we did see that trust energy. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So stop sort of, I kind of want to say, stop lying to yourself that you don't want this and that you're okay with, just being at this level. That if you do want to advance, there's no point hiding that from yourself and hiding that ambition, because, you're apparently your intuition is telling you to listen to that desire and follow that passion and ambition here. Stop denying that you have this ambition here with your career. Come March, it kind of just feels like you're wanting a little bit more. You're wanting to evolve a little bit more to a higher level within your career, and you're kind of trying to tell yourself, oh no, it's fine how it is, but your intuition is sort of telling you, your inner voice is telling you, but no, Gemini, you want to go to this level, or you want to go to that department, or there's something there where you do have something that you want to evolve a little bit, and you want to change a little bit within the career. Kind of trying to, I feel like it's just sort of that you want to, you've denied it to yourself that you even want this a little bit, but it is still eating away at you in the back of your mind there, and on your emotions. It just becomes a little bit of a drain, I feel, in March, and your intuition is telling you, go for it. Now's the time to go for it, is what I'm kind of getting there. Finances for Gemini, March, please. Brand new cycle. We have the ring coming through for you there with the finances, with the stork. So straight away, that is a brand new cycle. The ring a lot of the time does talk about cycles. And then with the stork influencing that, the stork really does stir up brand new energy. It's like the idea generator. So you're stirring up some new ideas, some new cycles for yourself financially of how to deal with money in a totally brand new way that suits you better. What's better things for you to be spending your money on, those kinds of things. So I do see a bit of a positive shift happening in March when it comes to the cycles that you find yourself in financially. They are seeming to being stirred up and shifted into new cycles for you here. And we also have the fox energy, all right, which is very positive when it comes to finances, because it does talk about you being very independent, looking after yourself, taking putting yourself first, focusing on your own survival. So these new cycles really will be sort of, instead of splashing out money and giving money to every Tom, Dick and Harry that needs your help, you're focusing on yourself, and making sure you are where you need to be financially before you're worrying about anyone else. You're really focusing on your own survival, and these new cycles are coming through in a very independent, strong kind of way, where it's instead of spending regardless of your own needs, you're really actually now entering this cycle where you're actually able to put your own survival first and foremost, and not worry about, oh, I need money for this stupid thing or that stupid thing. You're really focusing on the survival side of finances rather than you know, anything else that is sort of contrary to you making more money for yourself. The fox energy too, it does really talk about self-sufficiency, and it is a bit of a salesman type energy as well. So it really just shows us too that you really will be not selling yourself short. The fox energy does not sell yourself short. They really take care of yourself, looking after yourself financially here. So I feel like March, especially after that nonsense in February, March is going to be a big turning point for you financially, where you are going to really enter into these new cycles where you're like, I'm not even going to put up with that ish anymore. I'm going to make sure that I'm looked after first and foremost, and I'm going to be in control of my ish, and I've got it all sorted. It's entering this brand new cycle where everything is really well managed, and with you as the main key priority there, which is lovely for financial aspects. All right, but that's what we have for you, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. Hopefully we will see you again soon.